Okay, looks like we are live for our Q&A. 1 second. Let me make sure that we're live here, and we'll get started in 1 second. Okay, looks like we are live. All right, so Thursday is a day where basically we answer questions that you have about selling or sales or anything that relates to that. So it looks like, let me make sure I'm just on my phone here. So, okay, so we're going live right now in our Facebook group, Sales Revolution. This is also being streamed in our YouTube channel. So some of you on YouTube will see this. This will also be seen on my personal Facebook, so my friends will see this. And I believe this is being seen on our business Facebook page as well. So about 3 to 4 different sources. Yes, okay, so I'm streamed in our YouTube. Okay, I'm seeing your comments. Okay, so remember on Thursdays, this is a day where you can ask me anything that is actually on your mind. Hold on 1 second. I'm going to send myself a message here so it comes up. Okay, perfect. All right. All right, so today you can ask me any question that you have. Now, here are the rules of the questions, okay? And sometimes I might not be able to see your name here since I'm on StreamYard, so I might just repeat back the question and know that I just don't see your name. I'm not being mean. I just can't see your name here. I just see your question on StreamYard. Now, these questions, here's the rules of the ball game. When you ask me the question, tell me your name. Say, my name is Julie Jones, I sell this, and my question is this. Okay, just say, my name is, I sell this, so I know what industry you're in, and here's my question. That's how I want you to do that. That helps me be able to see what you're asking, okay? Now, if you are brand new, Chuck, great to see you, sir, as well. All right, so if you're brand new to our Facebook group, or you're coming in from our YouTube channel, or my business page, or even my personal Facebook, I'm the chairman and founder of an organization, a company called Seventh Level, and we help people exactly like you, sales professionals, coaches, sales executives, managers, business owners, transform the way you and your team sell by learning specific skilled questions and techniques that actually work with human behavior rather than work against it. What does that actually mean? Why is that so important? Now, these are called neuro-emotional persuasion questions. That stands for NEPQ, if you've heard that before. We teach you the right tonality that puts your clients at ease, eliminates sales pressure from your conversations, and actually gets your prospects to open up and want to engage with you, to want to be open to you, to share what's going on. Now, if you want more details about our training programs that can help you sell a lot more of your products and your services than you are now, in the comment section, just post hashtag NEPQ. So you'll post hashtag NEPQ, and either myself or someone on our team can message you more details about how we can possibly help you as well. Now, if you're on the live right now, here's what I want you to do. I want you to post hashtag live. So if you're on live, post hashtag live. And if you're on the replay, I want you to post hashtag replay. So if you're on live, post hashtag live. If you're on the replay, post hashtag replay. Now, also for each of you on right now, I want you to smash the heart button. So I want each of you to smash the heart button, and I want each of you to smash the like button. So smash the heart button, smash the like button. The reason why we have you do that is it creates more engagement in the group. More people are able to see this in the Facebook group and on YouTube and in my personal Facebook, and it allows other people to get their questions answered and be able to learn how to sell more of their products and services as well. Now, if you are trying to get into our Facebook group, Sales Revolution, Chris will put a link here on my team to join the Facebook group. You'll answer a 2-question survey so we know what industry you're in. You can join for free. We'll send you a free training on how to prevent objections from happening with your prospects before they come in their mind. We don't even charge you for it, and you're welcome to join the Facebook group. He'll post that in here. All right, let's go ahead and get to the first questions here. I've only got about 32 minutes. All right, so let me look for the first question. The first question comes from somebody on YouTube, Victor Jurasek, I think. Hey, Jeremy, my name is Victor. I'm in real estate high ticket. What should, hold on, I lost you for a second. Victor, I'm coming back to you. It bounced off you for a second. Okay, Victor said, what should the triage call script be and what should be covered? So, okay, so in your industry, because we train a lot of companies in your space, a lot of salespeople that make a ton of money in your space, we train now at this point. So if you're doing a triage where you're trying to financially qualify the prospect before you then put them with the next salesperson or the quote unquote closer, what you have to do on the triage is you're going to start off with your connecting questions. Now, I don't know if you're in our training, Victor. If you are, log into our virtual training platform to go through connecting questions. You're going to start with those. Then you're going to go into your situation questions that find out what their current situation is. Okay, that's all in our virtual training platform. Then you're going to go into your problem awareness questions that help them find out what their problems are. Because realize this, most of your prospects, when you first talk to them, your salespeople talk to them, don't even know that they have a problem. Or maybe they know they have a problem, but they don't really know how bad the problem really is. Or maybe they through your questioning ability that we train you in our training programs, you're able to help them find 3 or 4 or other 5 problems they didn't even know they had. Or maybe they don't know the consequences of what's going to happen, the ramifications if they don't do anything about solving the problem. Okay, what does that look like? Okay, so we're going to ask them all the way up to our problem awareness questions, and then we're going to suggest the next step would be is to have a call with so-and-so who can go over our training programs to help you and repeat back what they said they wanted. Now, I don't know if you're in our training programs. Hopefully you are, but if you're in our advanced NEPQ 3.0 training programs, that's the 17-hour virtual training course, plus all the role playing with all of our sales trainers and me every week in the group coaching. We go over all of that and how to structure that on your triage calls as well, if that's what you do, because we train a lot of companies that do triage calls as well. So hopefully that gave you an overview of how that works. Okay, let's go to the next question here. Somebody said, best sales training you will ever get. I don't know who that was because we have people coming in from YouTube and all these other places, so I don't see your name here. Let's go over to, okay, so we've got somebody coming in from Facebook. Hey, my name is Ron Rizzavaloni, I think, and I sell business coaching. Okay, we know a lot about that space, so I train a lot of people there. My question is, I'm struggling to get the full payment up front for my clients on sales calls. I recommend them PayPal credit or using their own credit card, but they just don't want to, so that at the end, we just agree for a payment plan because they don't have all the funds. How can I overcome this and make them use their credit card or apply for PayPal credit to pay me up front? Okay, so I want to make sure you understand. This is because your questioning ability, and I don't know if you're in our virtual training courses because we teach you all of this, okay? The reason why you're getting that objection at the end is because you haven't created enough gap in their mind from where they are now, their current situation, compared to where they want to be. That's their objective state. Current state, objective state. What's the gap in between, causing them to stay here compared to being where they want? All of these problems that your questioning ability has to help them see they have. If you don't know those questions, if you don't understand NEPQ because you don't have the training, that gap becomes much smaller in their mind. And the smaller the gap, the more likely they are to see that their problem's really not that bad because you haven't helped them see how big that gap is in their mind. And when that gap's pretty small, they look at their current state and your solution is like, well, the problem's not that bad. So they're not internally motivated to go out and get the funds to pay for it up front, to get a discount or whatever you offer if they pay up front. They'll say things like, oh, we don't want to go into debt or whatever. Now, especially because you're selling business coaching, this should be really easy to help them overcome. First of all, if you have the right questions, most people are just going to pay up front because they feel like you're going to get them the results they want. If you don't understand those questions, that's why you're getting that objection a lot of times. That can be fixed. You just got to learn the right questions with our training courses. Hopefully you can get in. Now, if they still do have that concern at the end, because every once in a while they'll still have it, very rarely, 5% maybe, all you simply do is just say, if they say, well, I just don't want to go into debt. Okay. So when you say you don't want to go into debt, what do you mean by debt? See how I asked that skeptically? Well, I just don't want to borrow funds that I don't have. Yeah, I guess you couldn't. I guess you don't have to. Can I make a suggestion to you? Yeah, sure. Go ahead, Jeremy. Here's what I'm going to suggest to you. I'm assuming you understand as a business owner that it's going to require capital or credit to put into your business if you really want to scale it to get up to, and you're going to repeat back what they said they wanted. Let's say it's $1 million a month so that you can get to $1 million a month in revenue. And typically what the difference would be in good debt compared to bad debt is, because I follow this gentleman, Dave Ramsey, if you've heard of Dave Ramsey, the big debt guy. And he says, you never want to get into bad debt. And that's consumer debt. That's taking a credit card, going to the mall to buy clothes, to buy jewelry, to buy a TV. How many of those things make you any money? Zero, right? Now, what he also says is that if it's business debt, that's considered good debt, right? Because you're putting the capital or the funding into a business so that you can make more money. Because what happens if you don't get the funding together to put into your business? Like, how are you actually going to scale it without the right skills necessary to be able to scale it? See, I'm asking that question. How are they going to do this without the funding to get them the right skills to do this? And that triggers them to internally motivate themselves to want to go out and find the funding because they don't view the funding as debt. That's because all that tells me is you haven't learned the right questions yet, Ron, and that could be fixed because they're focused on price-based thinking. Whereas when we teach you how to ask the right questions with NEPQ, you know what happens? It gets them to think results-based thinking. Do you see the difference in price-based thinking compared to results-based thinking? When you get them to think results-based thinking, which can only happen from your questioning ability that we train you, then the price doesn't matter in their mind because they view the price or the funding as getting them the results they want. So it seems very cheap for them to go out and get a credit card to pay 10 or 15 or 20 grand that's going to help them get to $1 million a month in revenue, right? It's your question ability has to improve and change if you want to stop getting that objection. So if you want to know more details about the training, just post hashtag NEPQ and we can shoot you more details if you want to see if we can help you there. Hopefully that answered part of your question. I could go into a lot more of that, but I want to try to get to as many questions as I can today. Okay, let's go to the next question real quick. Let's see, who do we got here? I'm on StreamYard, so I can't see your names necessarily. All right, so we got a Facebook user that says, what are some things that I should listen to from the client that would help me understand that I'm actually getting emotions out? I understand if they tell me what is impacting them is one, but what are the other indicators, if any? Well, first of all, I don't know your name. I apologize. Hopefully you're in our training program because our virtual training programs in our group coaching teach you all those skills. Okay. You would know what questions to ask and what you're looking for. So typically what you're listening for is coming from the skilled questions you have to learn. If you don't understand those skilled questions, then there's not much to listen for, because what most salespeople do is they ask questions like consultative questions. Sales questions, right? What are two problems that you have, John? Or what solution are you looking for? Or what keeps you awake at night? Those are just surface level questions that are not going to make you very many sales. Okay, I just want to be very clear, because do people buy on logic or emotion? They buy 100% on emotion. They do not buy on logic. Brain studies prove that 100% of the time. That's just a proven fact with behavioral science at this point. So if your questions are not opening them up emotionally to what the problems are doing to them, they're never going to reveal anything to you because they don't trust you, right? You're asking surface level questions that they feel like they're being interrogated from. So they don't open up to you. So when they say, what if you ask the right questions that we train you, and let's say they're like, oh yeah, it's causing a lot of stress. You're going to say, well, hold on, what do you mean by stress? That's an NEPQ clarifying question. Oh, well, yeah, I've had, I'm really stressed because of X and Y and Z. Okay, and how long has that been going on for? That's an NEPQ probing question. And they say, oh, it's been going on for 5 years. Oh, okay, so for 5 years. So that stress the last 5 years, has that had a impact on you? See how I said that with my tone, the verbal pause there? That's another NEPQ probing question. That helps them relive the pain of the stress they just told you. If you just take them saying, oh, it's causing me a lot of stress, and you just go on to the next surface level question, you're not helping them relive their pain. And because you're not helping them relive their pain, their current state is here. They want to be here, but they don't fill the gap. And because they don't fill the gap, that's why they're not buying from you. So once you learn the right questions, the right NEPQ questions to ask, that gap becomes so massive in their mind. And human beings, as a human being, what do they want to do? They want to run away from the pain as fast as they can. So the more pain you're able to help them feel from your questioning ability, not from telling them, but your questions, the more likely they are to buy. So I hope that answers your question roundabout. I could go on and on for that for about hours. Okay, hopefully that answered. I don't know what your name was. Somebody said a Facebook user said selling insurance, how to handle a money objection. Well, first of all, money objections usually are triggered by you, the salesperson, not understanding how to pull out consequences, especially with what you sell, because we train a lot of salespeople in your space that make 50, 60, 70,000 a month in commissions or more, just so you know. I don't know what your name is, but so you're not able to help them see the consequences if they don't do anything. And that's why they're thinking price-based thinking rather than results-based thinking, protection-based thinking for your insurance, okay? If they still do have the money objection, it's really easy. And we teach all of this in our virtual training course, so hopefully you can get in so you don't lose sales that you could be making. All it takes to make sales, a ton of sales, is the right skills and the right knowledge, right? That's what's holding anybody back from making 20, 30, 40, 50 grand a month in commissions or higher, is they just haven't learned the right skills yet. They don't have the right knowledge. So they're not able to make those sales. So if they say, oh, I'd like to do this, but we just don't have the money. First of all, you need to clarify what that means. How do you mean by you don't have the money? Well, this extra $250 a month, I don't know if we can budget it now or whatever, if you're selling them whole life or whatever. I'm not sure what you sell in insurance. So you typically say, yeah, that's not a problem. Tell me, if you did have the funds, is this something that would work for you? Now, why would I want to ask them that? Because they're going to say, yeah, I mean, if I did have the funds, I would definitely want to do this. But I don't, and they might come say, yeah, I mean, it sure would. Well, hold on though. Why, money aside, why do you feel like it would though? That's an NEPQ probing question. Well, we like it because of this and, because of that. And in case, my husband dies, I can pay for the house and I can pay for the college and blah, 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 blah. Okay. And I can appreciate that money might be an issue from what you told me. I guess, how do you think you can overcome that, where you can find the extra funding to put into the policy so you have this financial protection in case, God forbid, your spouse does pass away earlier than you thought, and you don't have the money to pay for your house or your kids' college? See how I'm tying in? How are they going to overcome that so they can get the funding together so that they can have the financial protection, what they said they wanted, so they don't, and then I repeat back the consequences of not having the policy. Now, a lot of times right there, they're like, well, I guess we could cut out the cable bill, or, we could pull some money out of our 401k, or, I guess I could put it on a credit card, or, I could borrow the funds from my aunt, or, I guess we could cut back on going, out to eat all the time. They'll come up with options in their mind. You'd be shocked, right? If you know how to do this. Now, if they still can't come with options, I don't know, I want to do it, but I just don't have the money. I can appreciate that. I guess, what other avenues do you have to find the extra funding, though, to put into the financial protection so you're not at risk when something does happen to your spouse? Notice how I'm repeating back what they said they wanted, and I'm attaching the money with the result they want. If they can get the money, they get the results they want. If they can't get the money, they don't get the results they want. Do you see the difference in that? Okay. Now, at this point, what we have to do at this point, okay, is if they still come back and say, well, I don't know, I could do this, or maybe they say, I can't do it, I don't have any money. Can I make a suggestion to you? Sure. What I can do is show you, go over some options that our other clients use if they don't have the extra funding. And you have to see if you have some of these options if you're wanting to get the financial protection to make sure that you're covered, when something does happen to your spouse. Would that help you? And then you go over the different options of other clients, the other ways they get their funding. And at the end of that, you say, what are those avenues do you have? That's it. That's how you help them overcome their money concern. All right. So hopefully that answered your question. All right. Try to get into our training, because you wouldn't be losing these sales if you knew the right questions to ask that get them to think results-based thinking rather than price-based thinking, just so you know, okay? All right, let's see. Somebody else, another Facebook user says, triaging for an Amazon offer, how to qualify for money. Well, first of all, I don't know if you're in a virtual training course, because we teach you all of that, like how to financially qualify somebody if you feel like they don't have the money. Now, in what you sell, because we train a lot of companies in that as well, a lot of salespeople. And what you sell, if let's say they're a college student and you can tell they don't have any money by what they're saying, like, I don't have any money, is this going to cost me any money? Or let's say they're a single parent and they haven't worked for a year or whatever, then you need to financially qualify them. But if they're like a husband and wife or whatever, they're a couple and they're both bringing in income, well, they probably don't need to be financially qualified for what you're offering, because you can help them go out and get funding on the next call if you know how to internally motivate them to want to change their situation. Now, if you don't know those skills because you don't understand the right NPQ questions, well, then you're just winging it, right? You're losing the sales you could be making. So the way you financially qualify somebody with what you sell is you just stop. Let's say if they're like, oh, I don't have any money. I just, I'm losing my home next week. Okay, let's do this, because first and foremost, I need to make sure we could even help you. I'm assuming that you understand when you start a business, even like Amazon, that it's going to require capital or credit to invest in the business so that you can make more money. With your situation, what type of funding do you have to put into a business so you can make more money? Notice how I repeat it back, so you can make more money. Notice how I'm attaching them getting the money with them getting what they want. With Amazon, they're wanting to leave their job so they can start a business so they can make more money, right? So I'm getting them to think results-based thinking, not price-based thinking. There's a massive difference in your commissions when you understand that. Now, let's say if they come back and say, well, I don't know, I've got, $2,000, and let's say your offer's 10. So that could be a problem. Okay, well, yeah, I mean, with our business model, with our training, for you to be able to get up to that level of income, you'll need to put in around $9,000 or $10,000 when you start to acquire the necessary skills with our help to be able to build out your business so you can leave your job and actually make more money. Is that something you can come up with if it fits into what you're looking for? Now, a lot of times they'll be like, yeah, I could get it from my 401k, or I could use a credit card, or I could do this. Sometimes they'll come back and say, no, I don't think I can do that. And you take them through that money objection concern I just went over with the previous person. Sorry, I don't see your names on here. It just says Facebook user, because I'm on StreamYard, streaming to like YouTube channel, Facebook group, and my personal Facebook group. There's like 46 of you on through those 3 different channels. Hardly anybody on today. We usually have 70 or 80 on here. What is going on? Everybody's just hanging out, I guess. I don't know what's going on. Now, at that point, let's say if they come back and they say, I've got $10,000 and that's what it cost. Okay. You simply say this. Okay. Yeah. Because with this business model, you will need around what you have, that $9,000 or $10,000 range to put into the business so that you actually acquire the skills for us to help you build it so you can leave your job, in the next 12 months. Is that something you come up with if it fits into what you're looking for? You still ask that question, because it's a way that you are asking for their permission, if that makes sense. That's what you do with the qualifying to see if they have the funding thing. If they use some terminology when you're talking to them that's triggering you to be like, does this person really have money to do anything with this? Hope that helped. All right, we've got another Facebook user that says, how would you use NEPQ selling furniture? Well, it's very simple. They're coming into the furniture store because they have a problem, right? They would never come into the furniture store if they didn't have a problem. It's just like if they come into an exotic car dealership to look at Rolls-Royce or Ferraris or Lambos. They have a problem. That's why they're coming in. They have an emotional need of, and this is for like exotic cars, I'm just giving an example. They have emotional needs that are not being met, and they feel that car is going to satisfy their emotional needs. Otherwise, they would just be driving a Kia, because a Kia can just drive them to point A to point B. So they have an emotional need or problem. So the same thing is with furniture. They either have a problem because their couch broke down, or they have a problem because their couch or dining room table they don't feel is nice enough, so they feel embarrassed when their guest comes over. There's different problems that they would have. That's why they're coming in the furniture store. So you have to ask the right NEPQ questions to find out what those problems are. Now, I don't know if you're in our training, because we teach you all of that in our virtual training course. Hopefully you are. If you were, you would know the structure. So you're going to ask connecting questions. You're going to ask that take the focus off you and puts it on them. Okay. You're going to ask them situation questions. Okay. So let's say they came to the store for for a couch or whatever, just as an example. They're looking around for couches, okay? Instead of just showing them the couch and hoping and praying that they buy, you're simply going to ask them after your connecting questions. Okay, so and they say, oh, we're looking for a couch and blah, blah, blah. Okay, so a couch. And do you know what you're looking for? And they're going to say, well, we're kind of looking for this. Okay. Oh, I see. Okay. And just help me understand the background though. What type of couch do you have now? Just so I understand. Oh, and they're going to tell you what couch they have. So the situation questions, we want to find out what their present situation is. Oh, we have this type of couch. Okay, and how long have you had that couch for? Oh, the past 10 years. Now, what does that tell you? Maybe the couch is outdated. Maybe that's why they're in. You're not going to say that yet, but it's giving you a little bit of a snapshot, okay? Okay, and I'm just curious, like 10 years ago when you bought that couch, what caused you to buy that couch over something else, like a leather couch? Let's say if it was cloth or something. Well, we like cloth because of X and Y and Z. And that tells you more of a story. So the furniture you've had in the past, just so I know what to maybe show you here that might possibly work. Do you like the couches you have now? Now, they told you something they didn't like about it. Let's say if they're like, yeah, we have this couch, but we don't like it because it's outdated or it gets stains on it too easy or whatever. You're going to repeat that concern back when you ask what's called a problem awareness question, which would be right after your situation questions, okay? And like I said, the virtual training course teaches you all this, all right? So hopefully you're in it. So then you go, okay, so this couch that you've had the last 10 years, besides, not liking the, where it will stain if somebody drops, some wine on it or something. Besides that, do you like the type of couch you have now? Right? Now, they're either going to say, yes, I do, or no, I don't, and here's why. And they're going to tell you other things they don't like about it. When they start to tell you other things they don't like about it, who are they also telling? Themselves. That's the first part of somebody persuading themselves. Or if they're even in the middle, they might say, well, I mean, we like it, but hold on, you don't sound very sure about it. What don't you like, right? And then they start to tell you what they don't like, and you're going to clarify. You're going to use what are called NEPQ, clarifying and probing questions that help bring out more pain and help them relive that pain, all right? I'd go into a lot more. Like I said, hopefully you can get into our NEPQ sales training courses because we teach you all of that. So you would know all of that and you wouldn't lose the sales. You're probably losing now, my friend. I don't know your name. It just says Facebook user. Okay, let's go to the next one. Does Facebook user said, does Neon work on family members or with reframing limiting beliefs? I don't know what Neon means. Are you talking about NEPQ? Yeah, NEPQ would work on anything. It's neuro-emotional persuasion questions. You're asking the right questions, easy to answer questions that allows the prospect to question their way of thinking that's allowed their situation to keep happening. So that would help them overcome their limiting beliefs, right? So hopefully that answers your question. Chris, Jeremy, what's your most recommended sales book? I know that's vague, but well, good book would be the book that I'm coming out with Jerry Acuff here that's being published in the fall. We'll let you know when that comes out. I'm going to give you some other books, but that's going to be a good book. The title is The New Model of Selling, How to Sell to an Unsellable Generation. Very intriguing. That's going to be a good book that you're going to want to read. Me and Jerry Acuff, the CEO of Delta Points, one of the largest sales consulting firms in North America, writing together right now. It's 75% done. Another good book you want to read if you want to learn psychology of buying behavior so you understand why people buy and they don't buy is a book by Daniel Pink called To Sell is Human. To Sell is Human. That's a really good book if you want to learn psychology behind how selling has changed. Very good book. I would suggest that as well. All right. Let's see here. More questions. Trying to find out here who's got more questions. Melissa says, wow, powerful. Oh, Melissa, I see your name on there. Nice to have you on here. All right. Let's see. We got a couple. Oh, hold on. I'm looking for more questions. I apologize. Let's see here. Going over funding options on the phone. I like that was framed. Okay, that's from, okay, somebody here. I'm in phone sales for social media, real estate marketing. I know your space a lot. What is the best way to engage we actually train all of the salespeople for Ryan Serhant, which is the huge realtor on $1 Million Listing New York. It's on Bravo. It's a huge show there. We train his salespeople that sell his social media training for real estate agents. What is the best way to engage a client who was on board, excited, responsive, took the initiative to stay in contact about sign up and then just goes cold to no contact? I'm talking to reached out, said, hey, it starts taking so long, but I'm already ready to sign up or I'm ready to go. Then you reach out when they agree to speak and they're nowhere to be found. Okay, first of all, I can give you the Band-Aid approach, but you have to understand psychologically what you didn't do or what questions you didn't ask that triggered them to not be internally motivated to follow through and change their situation. I don't know if you're in our NAPQ sales training courses. Hopefully you are, because we teach you, like I said, all of that. So you wouldn't lose sales like this because you're getting them internally motivated. When you externally motivate somebody, meaning you get them hyped up, you ask a few questions, you really have a great presentation, and you convince them that they need to change their situation, you convince them that they need to buy, they will go cold. You'll have lots of buyer's remorse. You have lots of people that buy that then cancel. And you'll have a lot of people that get excited. They're about to get onboarded, and then you never hear back from them because you got them externally on the outside persuaded. You convince them rather than getting them to convince themselves. And that's what we teach you in our NAPQ sales training course. Hopefully you can get your hands on that so you don't have that problem. Now, what you want to do to try to get to them to re-engage, and if you've called them and they haven't answered, send them a text. Say this: hey, John, I tried to reach you the last couple of days and left a few messages, but did not hear back from you. Say that word for word, ... Then go down 2 spaces and say, how do you want to proceed from here? How do you want to proceed from here? And that's it. Most people, when you send that text or that email, are going to respond back to that with a concern. Or, my mother went to the hospital, I'm so sorry. And then you set up another time to get them done. Does that make sense? Okay. All right. So I want to make sure that you understand that. All right. So hopefully that answered your question on how to do that to re-engage. That's how you'd want to re-engage them. Okay, Melissa. Oh, that was good. Going over the funding options on the phone. Good point. Good point. Whoa. Somebody said, whoa. Okay. Kiss of death. NAPQ, let me in. Somebody said that. I'm not sure. That says Facebook user, but I don't know who that is. Okay. Somebody's got how to respond to some type of prospects who are afraid to be at risk if it does not work for them. Okay. It's the same thing. Whoever asked that question, it's Yosef Ahmad. Okay. I see you on my phone. Hopefully you're in our NAPQ sales training courses because we teach you all that. So basically, I don't know what you sell either, but basically it's because you haven't, all selling is change. It's about how good you are at getting the prospect to want to change their situation. It's about how good you are to get the prospect to view that them staying where they're at in status quo and not doing anything and their problems stay the same is far more riskier for them than getting the funding together, the money together to buy your solution to solve their problems and get them where they're wanting to go. So you just need to simply ask them. So John, I mean, you tell me which is more risky. Is it more risky to stay where you're at and stay in the status quo and your problems stay the same thing and nothing ever happens? Or is it more risky for you to get the funding together to be able to get into XYZ so that you can and repeat back what they said they wanted and then say, which is more risky? So let me give you an example. Let's say if you're selling the Amazon training, like somebody just said, so you tell me which is more risky. Is it more risky to do nothing and just stay in your job the next 5, 10, 15 years at the same income level? Or is it more risky to get the funding, invest in the training, and learn the right skills so you can get out of your job to make more money? Which is more risky? It's going to be very hard for them to say, oh, it's going to be more risky for me to get the money and change my situation and have what I want. See, that's how you do that. That's the question you want to ask there. All right, guys, I've got to go. I've got a meeting right now. We went about 34 minutes. I hope that helped. If you want more details about how we can help you sell a lot more of your products and services, just in the comment section, post hashtag NAPQ, and either myself or someone on our team can message you more details to see if we can help. Thanks, everybody. Talk to you soon.